So before we get into any specific AWS service, we got to talk about something that a lot of people kind of rush past, how AWS is actually set up physically. Like, where does all this stuff live? And honestly, this comes up on the exam more than you'd expect. If you don't have a solid picture of the infrastructure, some of those architecture scenario questions are going to feel really confusing. So, let's fix that. The question this video answers is, how is AWS infrastructure organized, and why does it matter? All right, at the very top of the hierarchy, you've got regions. A region is a geographic area, like US East, EU West, Asia Pacific. AWS has over 33 regions worldwide, and they keep adding more. Each region is completely independent. They don't automatically share data with each other. So if you spin up a server in US East and one in EU West, those are totally separate environments. That isolation is actually a feature. It's what lets you build disaster recovery across regions. If one whole region goes down, your other region keeps running. Now here's something the exam likes to catch people on. Not every AWS service is available in every region. So when you're designing a solution, you need to make sure the services you need are actually available in the region you're deploying to. Okay, inside each region, you've got availability zones, or AZs. This is where it really gets important. An AZ is one or more discrete data centers. Each one has its own power, cooling, and physical security, and they're physically separated from each other. We're talking miles apart. But they're connected with super high-speed, low-latency networking. Think of it this way. If a flood or a power outage hits one data center, the others are far enough away that they're totally unaffected. Most regions have between 3 and 6 AZs, and this is probably the most important thing I'll say today. When you deploy your app across multiple AZs, if one goes down, your app keeps running in the others. You'll hear this constantly throughout the exam. Multi-AZ equals high availability. Burn that into your memory. Oh, and quick gotcha. AZ names are randomized per account. So your US East 1A might be a completely different physical data center than your colleague's US East 1A. AWS does this to spread load evenly. Just something to be aware of. Next up, edge locations. And these are a totally different thing from regions and AZs. Edge locations are not where you run your servers. They're caching and content delivery points. Think of them as the endpoints for CloudFront, AWS's CDN service. And there are way more of them than regions. We're talking 400 plus globally. So if someone in Tokyo loads a website that's hosted in US East, instead of that request crossing the Pacific every single time, it hits the nearest edge location in Japan and serves cached content from there. Way faster, way lower latency. Edge locations also handle Route 53 DNS queries and AWS Global Accelerator, but we'll get into those services later. Okay, 3 more things worth knowing for the exam. Local zones. These are basically extensions of a region placed in specific metro areas. Cities like LA, Chicago, Dallas. The idea is to run latency-sensitive apps, gaming, live video, real-time stuff, even closer to users. Wavelength zones. These embed AWS compute right at the edge of 5G networks. Super niche. Just know it's for ultra-low latency on 5G mobile. And outposts. This one's interesting. AWS literally ships you physical hardware that you put in your own data center, so you can run AWS services on premises. It's for companies that have regulatory reasons to keep data on site or need really low latency to local systems. All right, let's pull it all together. The hierarchy goes: regions, big geographic areas. Inside those, availability zones, isolated data centers for high availability. Then edge locations, for caching and content delivery. And the specialty stuff, local zones, wavelength, outposts, for specific edge cases. 3 exam traps real quick. 1. AZs are inside regions. Don't mix them up. 2. Edge locations are for caching, not compute. Reduced latency globally means CloudFront, not more EC2. 3. Multi-AZ is high availability. Multi-region is disaster recovery. Different things. Okay, 3 quick practice questions. Question 1. A company needs their app to keep running if an entire data center fails. What's the solution? Deploy across multiple availability zones. That's it. Question 2. A media company has servers in the US, but wants low latency for European users. What feature helps? CloudFront with edge locations. Cache the content close to the users. Question 3. What is the minimum number of availability zones in an AWS region? 2. Though most regions have 3 or more, but 2 is the minimum to know for the exam.